Shakespeare is the most famous writer in English, yet remains a mystery. His name is known across the world, but the details of his life are shrouded in uncertainty and legend. We know only fragments of his life, some records, a will, a few legal squabbles. The facts we have are scattered and incomplete, leaving us to piece together his story from what little survives. The man behind Hamlet's dread and Juliet's passion is elusive, and that mystery is part of his allure. It invites us to imagine who he was and how he could write with such insight into the human soul. But what truly keeps us fascinated is what he left behind, plays that still pulse with life. Shakespeare's works explore love, jealousy, ambition, and the full range of human emotion. He wrote about grief with a depth that feels timeless, and about love in ways that still resonate with us today. His characters are complex and relatable, mirroring our own struggles and dreams. They wrestle with choices, face heartbreak, and search for meaning, just as we do. He transformed English, inventing words and phrases we use every day. His creativity shaped the very way we speak and think, leaving a permanent mark on our language. His stories are endlessly retold, proving their lasting power. Each generation finds something new in his plays, adapting them to reflect their own times and experiences. As we look back, we're not just searching for a historical figure, we're trying to understand the mind that created entire worlds. His imagination continues to inspire scholars, artists, and audiences alike. Shakespeare's legacy is how an ordinary man shaped our language, culture, and understanding of ourselves. His words remind us of our shared humanity, and that is why we still care about Shakespeare today. William Shakespeare was born in April 1564 in Stratford-upon-Avon, a picturesque market town nestled along the River Avon in the heart of England. The town's winding streets and half-timbered houses would have been a familiar sight to the young William, shaping his earliest memories. He was the son of John Shakespeare, a respected glove maker and local businessman whose trade brought the family both status and stability. Growing up in a comfortable middle-class home, William was surrounded by the bustle of civic life, festivals, markets, and the daily rhythms of a thriving community. Likely educated at the King's New School, he was immersed in Latin, rhetoric, and the great classical stories, an education that would later fuel his boundless creativity and love for language. Though he never attended university, his grammar school years were rigorous and formative, instilling in him a discipline and curiosity that would last a lifetime. Traveling actors frequently visited Stratford, bringing with them the excitement of the stage. For young William, these performances were a window into other worlds, sparking his imagination. The rhythms of theatre, the power of words, and the magic of storytelling became woven into the fabric of his world from an early age. Life in Stratford also connected him deeply to the English countryside. The rolling fields, ancient woods, and changing seasons would later inspire the vivid imagery found throughout his plays and poetry. His upbringing was a unique blend of education, nature, and exposure to drama. A perfect mix that nurtured his talents and curiosity, setting him apart from his peers. Shakespeare's early life, rich in experience and inspiration, truly set the stage for the literary genius he would become. In 1582, 18-year-old Shakespeare married Anne Hathaway, 8 years his senior. Their first child, Susanna, arrived 6 months later, followed by twins Hamlet and Judith. For a while, Shakespeare lived a conventional family life in Stratford, but ambition pulled him toward London's theatre scene, leaving his family behind. Tragedy struck in 1596 when Hamlet died at 11, a loss that echoes in Shakespeare's later works. Despite distance, Shakespeare stayed connected to his family, sending money and investing in Stratford. His will famously left Anne his second-best bed, a detail that continues to spark debate. Was it a slight or a personal gesture? We can only guess. Shakespeare's family life remains as enigmatic as the man himself. The tension between home and ambition shaped his story. After the birth of his twins, Shakespeare vanishes from historical records for 7 years, a period famously known as the Lost Years. This mysterious gap in his biography has puzzled scholars and enthusiasts for centuries, sparking endless curiosity about what truly happened during this time. No one knows exactly what he did, fueling a host of colourful theories. Some say he was an actor honing his craft. Others imagine him as a schoolmaster, a poacher evading the law, or even a spy caught up in the intrigue of Elizabethan England. What matters most is that by 1592, Shakespeare had surfaced in London as a successful playwright, already making waves in the bustling world of English theatre. Rival dramatist Robert Greene famously called him an upstart crow, a backhanded compliment that actually signalled Shakespeare's rising fame and the threat he posed to established writers. The lost years were likely a time of intense learning, personal growth and transformation, shaping the man who would soon revolutionize the stage. Shakespeare arrived in London not as a novice, but as a force to be reckoned with in the theatre world, ready to leave his mark. He quickly became known for his extraordinary talent, relentless ambition, and the originality of his plays, captivating audiences and fellow actors alike. The journey from Stratford to London remains shrouded in mystery, but what is certain is the outcome. A new star had arrived on the English stage, ready to change everything. Shakespeare's leap from rural obscurity to theatrical prominence is a key part of his enduring legend, inspiring generations to wonder how such genius was forged. The gaps in his story invite us to imagine the making of a genius, to fill in the blanks with our own stories and dreams. What he did in those years, we may never know for certain, but the possibilities only add to his mystique. Yet the playwright who emerged from those shadows would go on to change English theatre forever, leaving a legacy that still inspires awe today. From the mid-1590s to 1608, Shakespeare's creativity soared. With the Lord Chamberlain's Men, he wrote comedies like A Midsummer Night's Dream and Much Ado About Nothing, witty, joyful and enduring. He also crafted tragedies, Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, Macbeth, exploring ambition, jealousy, madness and loss. His history plays like Henry IV and Henry V brought English kings to life with complexity and drama. Characters like Falstaff became literary icons. The opening of the Globe Theatre in 1599 gave him a stage for his masterpieces. Shakespeare was both artist and businessman, writing for all classes. His plays tapped into universal themes, making them timeless. This golden age of creativity defined an era and set the standard for all who followed. Shakespeare's work remains unmatched in its breadth and depth. Shakespeare didn't just use English, he reinvented it. He coined over 1,700 words and countless phrases we still use today. His language was vivid, playful and powerful, painting unforgettable images. He wrote in iambic pentameter, giving his lines a heartbeat-like rhythm, but he broke rules for dramatic effect, switching to prose or altering meter to suit his characters. His soliloquies, like Hamlet's To Be or Not to Be, are masterclasses in exploring the human mind. Shakespeare's words capture the full range of human experience: love, jealousy, ambition and despair. His characters speak with emotional honesty that still resonates. He gave us a language to understand ourselves. Shakespeare's linguistic legacy is woven into our everyday speech. Despite his fame, Shakespeare's life is shrouded in mystery, fueling myths and debates. The biggest controversy: did he really write the plays? Some argue a provincial man couldn't have such knowledge. Alternative candidates, Bacon, Marlowe, De Vere, are proposed, but evidence overwhelmingly supports Shakespeare of Stratford. His sonnets spark questions about his relationships and sexuality, especially the enigmatic fair youth and dark lady. Even his religious beliefs are debated, with hints of both Protestant and Catholic sympathies in his works. These mysteries add intrigue, but the plays themselves remain the true legacy. The gaps in his story invite speculation but also deepen his allure. Shakespeare's life is a puzzle, but his genius is undeniable. The myths are now part of what makes him endlessly fascinating. Shakespeare returned to Stratford wealthy and respected, spending his final years with family. He died in 1616, but his legacy was secured when friends published the first folio, preserving his plays for future generations. Without it, half his masterpieces would have been lost. Shakespeare's influence is everywhere, on stage, in film, and in our language. His stories and characters are universal, performed and adapted worldwide. He gave us a blueprint for storytelling that still inspires. Shakespeare's true legacy is his profound humanity. Characters as real as ourselves, language rich enough for our deepest emotions. He explored life's great questions with wisdom and compassion. Though the man remains partly hidden, his work shines as a timeless gift. Shakespeare's imagination changed the world and continues to do so.